Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of Flying High. I'm BMuse13, owner of the Carolina Panthers, and I'm joined today by QP, owner of the Washington Football Team. How you doing, Q?
What's up, brother? Excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to have you. I know we've been talking about this for a while, so we're hoping for a little bit more of a laid-back environment here on Flying High. Hope while you're listening or while you're joining us, you're enjoying your favorite beverage or enjoying your favorite flower or whatever you're doing, enjoying life. But we're going to talk about the SML here today. And I guess since we're so early in the season, I want to get your thoughts on the end of last season, which after a lot of talk from the AFC powers that be, mostly Prime, and a lot of talk around Dan, Prime, and Bomber, but RD pulled out the Super Bowl. The LA Rams won the Super Bowl in sort of dominant fashion. What are your thoughts and comments on this? I know we're both NFC guys here on this pod.
Yeah. I actually said earlier in the day, I was like, confidence. I think I said something like, extreme confidence while playing in a rhythm is all it takes sometimes. And that's what I felt RD did. He was playing lights out and he was playing with extreme confidence. Dude felt like he was on top of the world and nobody could stop him. I mean, none of us in the NFC could stop him. He kind of ran wild on all of us and did whatever he wanted. And then he did it in the AFC, I mean, in the Super Bowl as well. And that was definitely surprising. Obviously, not everybody, but a lot of people had Dan. Dookie was out of the league. He's gone. It's kind of like it's okay. It's Dan's. Like he's basically who's going to compete with Dan? Who's going to contest him in the Super Bowl? And RD came off the top ropes out of nowhere and shocked the SML, shocked the world, and I think put the NFC a little bit, gave the NFC in total some confidence. Now we're all riding the coattails of RD, feeling high and feeling like the NFC is the top division or conference, I should say.
Yeah, I gotta say I wasn't all that surprised after I played RD in the NFC Conference Championship game. I scored 38 points in that game and didn't really have a chance for most of the second half. So, props to him. He played a hell of a season. I see no reason why he couldn't repeat or an NFC team couldn't repeat. I know we've talked about how much hype the AFC gets, so I'm just hopeful here for the NFC. But what are you looking for this year? Like, How do you expect to see the league shake out? Do you see any surprises coming or any falls from grace potentially?
I think that I don't think I don't think you can call Dan's going to be a fall from grace. But something tells me maybe the AFC has a different representative this year. And that's a little bit, I think that's going out on a limb a little bit more than the NFC saying it, because NFC, I think it's still a wide open race. I know RD, credit to him again. He's a really good user, and he deserves that Super Bowl as well. But I still think the NFC is wide open. I think there's multiple teams there that can take the NFC and represent it. And then the AFC, I think, like everybody says on every podcast, it's represented by three teams, and then the rest are kind of. So I think Polly's a lot better than people give him credit for, but it's like we only talk about Dan, Prime, and Bomber because we expect those three to come out. One of those guys to come out, with Dan being the favorite. So as far from Grace, I would say Dan out of the guy. I think he's not going to repeat as the AFC guy. I think that having that quarterback, he's going to develop him. I mean, he's the quarterback guru. He's like Bruce Arians of SML. So he's going to groom that quarterback and he's going to do well. But I think that he doesn't make the AFC championship, and he doesn't rep it.
Yeah, we just saw him. This is fresh off of a defeat to Colt, which great win for Colt. I know Dan was working on his development game for his running back in that one, and he ended up getting it. And he actually got ankle breaker, which is a great ability to get, in my opinion.
Who did he lose to?
Colt, the Saints.
Really?
Yes, that happened tonight. Colt scored the game-winning touchdown with 10 seconds left in the game.
Oh wow, I was at work. Okay. Well, nice. Good win, Colt.
It was a great win, but like I said, the real winner might have been Dan with Calais getting ankle breaker Um, that's huge. That'll open up the running game for him with a rookie quarterback. But I don't know. Prime came in the chat today, talked a lot about how he's washed. Anytime a guy himself is telling you he's washed, he doesn't actually believe it. He wants everyone else to buy into it. So I wouldn't buy into that. He'll be up there. Palmer will be up there again. But I like that you shouted out Paulie. And I know you wanted to mention Jadeveon Clowney, which was his big free agent signing, which really bolsters his roster a little bit and gives him a premium edge rusher. So I'll let you talk about Clowney for just a moment.
Yeah, basically one of those kind of segue into it. We wanted to look at a free agent signing or somebody that, jumped off to you this offseason that a user made. And I wanted to mention Paulie with a $35 million deal for 1 year to Jadeveon Clowney. We crucified Dookie in the chat for giving Michael Thomas X Factor 99 overall. A 1 year, $30 million receiver at a skill position, at the wide receiver position. And then we followed it up with, 1 year, $35 million deal for Jadeveon Clowney. And on top of that, I think the Titans guy wasn't even able to franchise tag Clowney, which is who he was trying to go for. So it's it was all a mix up. And, you expect it from a guy like Paulie. I'll just say that. That's just the truth. I'm just giving you nothing but the truth. I didn't expect him to do anything but sign a 1 year, $35 million deal to Clowney. And I did buy bigger underwear because my panties were in a bunch.
Damn, giving him a taste of his own medicine there. I love it. Yeah, no, that was a crazy contract. 1 year, $35 million. I mean, I can't even. That's a lot of. I mean, I spent $30 million a year on Russell Wilson, so I'm not one to talk of giving big salaries this or having cap room, and I guess
yeah, but that's the quarterback position,
right? No, that's fair enough, but I mean, Jadeveon Clowney could really force an impact. I mean, obviously, I know I throw a lot of interceptions, like throwing out of sacks. It's when I throw a majority of my interceptions, I would say throw those ducks right over the middle of the field. So if you can get a few of those from Jadeveon Clowney, some quarterback hits, some big sacks, it could be worth it, especially if you're trying to, like we just mentioned, take over those top three in the AFC.
Yeah, definitely a good signing. It was a great signing by him. Again, it was just he pulled the rug right out from under Coop.
Yeah, and that's the sketchy part of all of it. But hey, at the end of the day,
AFC problems. Yeah, AFC problems.
AFC problems is right. I'm gonna shift over to the NFC with a contract that I view as an NFC problem, and specifically a Colt problem with the Saints. I mean, we just gave him kudos for his big win over Dan, and maybe Shaq Mason was a big part of it. But he gave Shaq Mason 5 years, over $90 million. He has over a $40 million cap penalty this season, and we're currently in 2024. Shaq Mason's going to be making $21 million in 2028. So that's just a huge contract to shell out to a
36 years old.
31-year-old right guard who's 85 overall and is just a star development. So what are your thoughts on that one? I guess, what would you ever do that? I wouldn't personally.
I would never. No, I wouldn't even pay probably a left tackle that money at 31 years old. That's hard to pay anybody at 31 years old that money. A 5 year for almost $100 million. I don't know. He wanted to protect his guys, and it's paying off. Apparently he got a huge win this week against Dan, so it's working for him. But I think that's going to affect him long run. It's only so many contracts you can give out, and the way I'm looking at it right now, looking at his roster, he has a $25 million penalty to cut a 30-year-old Ryan Ramczyk lineman. 33-year-old Terran Armstead, he has a almost $29 million penalty to cut. 33 years old Terran Armstead. And then now Shaq Mason with a $42 million contract who's 31 years old. So it's going to be hard to even cut those guys. You take a huge hit if you even want to get rid of those contracts that you maybe were bought into early on to try to win now. And then on top of that, I didn't even mention Eric McCoy, his other lineman, with a $17 million penalty if he cuts him. So It's just his whole line is getting paid quarterback money, damn near.
Yeah, if I'm paying my line that much, my quarterback better never get touched, and my running back should
Yeah,
average 7 yards a carry.
yeah.
So I guess we'll see. I'm gonna have to play him twice a year, so I'll report back on this and see how effective this offensive line is this year. Um, I'm gonna circle back to myself and the Russell Wilson contract. I upgraded at quarterback and gave Russell Wilson 2 years, $60 million to take over for Jacob Eason, who we had just extended, but only at $6 million a year. So I'm just paying him as a backup at this point. Um, what are your thoughts on that?
Russell Wilson, I mean, he's an X Factor quarterback, and he's not going to lose his X Factor. I personally don't like quarterbacks that have under a 90 throw power, so that's just my own preference. But I'm looking at his accuracy, and it's like 95s across the board almost. And he's got the escape artist, so you always have that in your back pocket. So it makes sense. I think you're a team that wants to win now and can win now. Obviously, you went to the NFC Championship in your first year, so it does make sense that you needed that upgrade and you wanted to go with something to win now. You do have Eason on the bench eating up a decent contract, and it's hard to move a $12 million penalty quarterback at this point, but it's also a great insurance policy as well if Russell Wilson gets hurt because he's one of the best backups that you could have on the in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
But I like the
Hopefully,
signing. Bottom line, Howard. Actually, sorry to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off, but I do like the Russell Wilson signing. I think it's a great pairing with your young skill set and skill position guys, and I think it's going to probably benefit you a lot. You already got a huge win over Faz. Me and you play in week 3, so that'll be an interesting one, and definitely looking forward to a battle like that. But overall, it's a good signing to see Russell Wilson come over to Carolina, I think.
yeah, we do play in week 3. I'm looking forward to that one. I know we were up in our other league last week, and we decided to straight sim it, and part of that was I didn't really want to show you my
I
offense
swear,
and
yeah, I
defense
swear.
2 days later.
I
So,
oh,
um,
that's funny. I had the same thoughts. I swear, I was like, I actually wanted to play you. I almost wanted to extend advance just to play you because you have Carolina in that league, and I was like, man, I could just get a feel and an idea of how he uses these guys. So that's funny that you mentioned that.
yeah, I'm a little more proven in that league. Still trying to prove myself here. I was thinking about using a
Yeah,
different playbook. I don't know. I was thinking through it, but we'll get the real thing sometime this weekend after advance.
yeah.
What, so, since we're at the start of the year, I mean, we're the ones on the podcast today. What are your thoughts on your team this year? What do you expect? Where do you expect to end up?
Uh, Ending up, I don't know. I think that I mean, I always pencil myself in the playoffs because I'm confident in my own play. If I'm not, then who else will be? It's kind of the mindset. So I pencil myself in as a playoff team. I do think I'm going to be better than last year. I went 10-6 last year, and I feel like that was a shitty year for me with point blank. To keep it simple, lost some games that I don't think I should have lost to, but I just they played better than me that day, and I didn't play well. I overall this year I have a lot of confidence. I like my team a lot. Got some superstar developments on some skill positions and at my quarterback. Um, I think that we're ready to make a good little run.
Yeah, looking at your roster, I know your skill level. Been playing together a long time. I fully expect you to be there at the end, and our game should be a shootout next next week.
Yeah, either that or it's going to be really ugly.
Hopefully
Like as
not.
far as us both throwing interceptions, I think we're prone to maybe either pick each other off a couple times or, like you said, it could be a high scoring game.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I feel like our matchups usually go one of those two ways, so I kind of agree with you there. It's either sloppy for one of us or both of us in terms of interceptions, or it's just
Yeah,
a straight up shootout. I don't expect it to be super conservative, but we'll see. I've been playing kind of conservatively so far this year, and it's gotten me a couple nice wins, so I might keep that going. But we're gonna see. I don't know. I think we know each other's play styles well enough at this point, but I want to highlight Faz. I just played him. We had a really good week 2 game. Um, he's very proven this league, consistent winner. and our game was very close. I know I didn't get the chance to play him in the NFC divisional round, and I kind of felt bad about it. I felt bad taking on someone's computer in the playoffs. I know if I was in that situation and advance was a day before, I would probably feel a little upset about it, but I think I would have done the same thing if I was a commissioner as well. So I kind of see both sides of it. But he's another guy in the NFC that I expect to be there, um,
Yeah, definitely.
along with Miu, RD. Um, you have
Dump
Meats.
the 49ers. I mean, there's so many teams.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of teams. I think Dump and Meats from the AFC West. I know Meats just recently said on one of the podcasts that he's kind of in one of those slumps, but you can never count him out, especially in the regular season. Yeah, there's so many good teams. I think that in the NFC that can make a run, like you said. I'm just looking at the whole team or the whole league, and yeah, I see 5, 6 guys.
all right. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to mention? Anyone you want to shout out, talk about? Anything you've noticed going on in the league, or anything you're excited for this year?
I want to shout out the NFC East, of course. The Cowboys are 2-0. Graham has already got almost half the wins that he had last season, and Rowan's 2-0. Rowan had a huge win over the Cardinals. Graham's had a big win over the Eagles. Eagles is a tough team. Don't look at their record. Um, just give me the shout out to the NFC East. Hopefully, we can all have some winning records this year, and hopefully, at least 3 of us can make the playoffs like we're the NFC West.
Yeah, I'll shout out Colt again, my division rival. He's the only other person in my division with a win, but that was a big win over Dan. Um,
Yeah,
and I hope it's not a sign of things to come. I hope it was more so Dan playing for the X Factor game, but um, I'm excited to play my division for a full season. I didn't get a chance to play everyone. The Buccaneers. Sorry, the Buccaneers switched owners halfway through, so I played Dookie and Field last year. Um,
yeah.
I don't know that I even played the Falcons. Don't think I did. I may have early on when I first took over, and I played Colt once. So I'm excited to play everyone for the first time in that cycle. I played you next week. I played Dan a couple weeks after that. I played Faz week 2. So I have a tough early schedule here, and I'm just looking forward to getting a chance to
Proving
play a
some
lot of
people
these teams
wrong.
for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested. Prime posted the preview of his power rankings, and I was at least on it, so that felt nice. But a lot of people talking about the Panthers not making the playoffs, and I'm going to make the playoffs. I'm making that declaration now. But yeah, if you don't have
Yeah.
anything else, I think we're good here.
No, just keep it short and simple. Thanks
Perfect.
for listening, guys.
Yeah, and hopefully this didn't suck. If we bored you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we'll we'll,
Yeah.
we'll get better as we get going here. Our first time recording this, obviously. So we'll reach out to guests, or if you're interested in coming on, feel free to reach out to us. And yeah, we'll try to do this weekly, I think.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so yeah, thank you everyone. Bye.